Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today, yes, we are back with another brand new video. In today's video we find ourselves in a very strange place then, don't we? On one hand, we aren't playing well right now. It's a tough watch to watch this football club play every minute of every game, whilst on the other, we are winning and picking up results that we've actually flung away in previous seasons. So it's a very strange place to be. However, if you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, if there is one team that has specialised over the last couple years in hurting each side of the old firm when they aren't playing well, it's tomorrow's opposition in Livingston Football Club. So with that fact and the fact we have the sprinkling of VAR, which we'll talk about later on in today's video, the first taste of VAR in Scottish football regarding our games, that is. It is a very interesting 24 hours being a Rangers fan right now. But before we go any further on and speak about the Rangers perspective, because as you can imagine, there's a lot of things we need to discuss. As always, let's start off with the old oppositional preview and have a look at tomorrow's dance partner, who are of course Livingston Football Club, and at my current time of recording are sitting 6th in the old SPFL. And sitting 6th, 10 games into the season is a sign of a very good season yet again under David Martindale, who continues to defy the odds on every single season. Although I voiced my opinion in my league prediction video and everything like that about Livingston Football Club. I don't understand why every year people underestimate this man and underestimate this football club, because it's incredible. It's the most Football Manager regen stuff I've ever seen, and no one's talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. Livingston lose their best players every single summer, and on a shoestring budget of a packet of crisps, get people in that replicate it and continue to perform. It's a frightening and incredible job that's getting done by not only Martindale, Big Marvin Batley and the recruitment staff over at Livingston Football Club. They are a very impressive side, and they've continued that despite what they lost again in the summer, as they've once again built a very tough team to play against, because of 9 of the 10 games that they've played in the top flight of Scottish football this season has been separated by 1 goal. People, that is how hard they make these games be. Again, they've not won every game or anything like that, but they make it difficult and they're always in it right until the very last whistle goes. And that for me is not only an incredible stat, but it's a perfect summary of this Livingston side. They make it a battle and a fight. So anyone who was hoping tomorrow's game would be a walkover of that is probably not going to get that, and it kind of lines up and it's certainly balanced on the scale of frustration, because that is what they've done all season long. The only loss that they've had by more than 1 goal in the top flight is when they got battered off Aberdeen, where it was just one of those games that went completely wrong from the first whistle right until the last. But when you take a step back and you look at them throughout the entire season in the SPFL, they have a perfect split: 5 wins and 5 losses and 0 draws. So something has to give tomorrow for Livingston Football Club. The balance needs to tip one way, and I hope it's that win column. Now again, it could fall into another column that's not been opened yet, but didn't think it, didn't say it. There's no draws, alright? We're going to win tomorrow. Please. Moving swiftly on though, however, have Livingston changed too much since we last played them, of course, on opening day, where again they frustrated us and made it very difficult? And honestly, not really, and that's not a dig at them or anything. They know what they're good at. Martindale and Big Bartley knows exactly how to set their team up, and they know how to be successful no matter who comes in. This guy comes in, you have this job, you take care of this job, I don't want you to worry about this, don't want you to worry about this, I don't want you to worry about this. Do this and I'll have 10 other players on the park to do the other part. It's incredible the way they paint the picture and everything like that. So they've not changed too much, and I think it's going to be a very similar setup with the 2 banks of 5 almost and a lot of long balls, where they try and keep it compact, they try and make it very difficult to get through them, and again they always carry that threat through set pieces. And I can imagine being a Livingston fan right now, or going in as a Livingston player or even a manager, they are discussing the fact that where we are as a football club, the frustration, the almost disconnect from the fans, the players, and of course the manager. There is not a team that you would rather not play right now when you're playing as ponderous and slow and lethargic as us than Livingston, because they will sit back and go like that. You just can do that all day, lads, we're fine here. Sorry, I'm just going to fix my shinny. You just got to pass it back to the centre back again, then back to the full back. And no worries, lads. We'll just sit here, we'll take the draw. So they've got no inkling or no worry about going forward and putting pressure and coming out and attacking Rangers. So again, they'll be very excited and hoping and praying that they can continue to keep it tight, get the crowd a bit nervy, get these players a bit nervy, and again, get Gio, who's under fire right now, a little bit nervy and that as well. So aye, from a Livingston end, they'll be relishing this time because arguably there's not a better time to play Rangers at Ibrox, and that's disgusting that that's coming out my mouth, but it's probably right now as we couldn't really perform and play football to the standard we've expected. Days with teams coming back to Ibrox and being terrified of getting a scudding has sort of started to slowly but surely fade away, but hopefully we can turn the screw, flip that narrative, and I'm sitting here talking about a 4 or 5 nothing. Nah, would be glorious, wouldn't it? But again, I just have to tell you how it's looking going into the game, and Livingston will be fancying their chances to frustrate this frustrating Rangers side. And honestly, that's all I've got to say about Livingston. I genuinely like them. I think they're a good underdog story. I think you look at what they do season upon season. I like their manager. I like Big Bartley, of course. I like their recruitment staff. They're a side that you can just look at and say, you know what, they do everything the right way, and what they continue to do is amazing in terms of the recruitment. But in saying all that, the second the whistle goes, I will hate every single person that's ever been associated with Livingston Football Club, and I mean that for the entire 90 minutes, and hopefully the Rangers players play like that as well and put them to the sword. But I am expecting a tough, tackling, hard, fighting, battling, working their jacksies off Livingston side that we always seem to play. And with that being said, it's time to flip over and talk about the Rangers side of today's video, which again used to bring me so much happiness and joy, and I'd light up like a Christmas tree and I'd smile and I'd do wee Ryan Kent shimmies. I've not done that in a wee while, people, and I am getting sleepless nights and headaches from this Rangers team over the last couple performances, especially the game versus Motherwell and that on Wednesday night, where it was just about as boring as football can actually be. And I love football. I eat, sleep and breathe Rangers Football Club, but that was tough on Wednesday night, so I'm needing to see a little bit of sun. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the ifs, the maybes, what we need today, and oh, it'd be great if we pumped them 4-0, because we know all that, ladies and gentlemen. I think it will be another frustrating night again versus Livingston, because again, there's no other team that frustrates opposition like a Livingston and everything like that. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you saying I think this is all going to change and everything's going to be fixed tomorrow and it's going to be all sing-songs and rainbows. I think it will be frustrating, but again, it's an important win. That's all we need today. It doesn't matter if we're playing well or not. We need to just get the job done, especially against a team like Livingston. So fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, that the few chances that I imagine we will create in the game falls to Big Cholak. And again, that's where I go next, people, because for me, Cholak has proved and won the starting number 9 role at the Rangers shirt. Morelos done absolutely less than nothing to impress me at all on Wednesday night, or say that he should be starting ahead of the Croatian goal machine. Cholak, I don't know how you feel about that. Genuinely, I think the discussion's over now. When we need to go ahead and win games, we start Big Cholak. Again, Morelos has put himself into this position, and more importantly, Cholak has put himself in that position by scoring goals, looking hungry and fighting with every little thing that he has. And I like Morelos still and everything like that. I'm not throwing my toys at the pram, and I need to preference this because I know people get very, very angry at me because I know Morelos has got his legion of fans, and I'm one of them, people. But the way we are playing right now, if you take your heart out of it and you think with your head, we are not creating 5 chances for Morelos a game for him to score 1. We know he requires more than 1 opportunity to score. We aren't playing well enough for that right now. We are creating 1 or 2 chances for the number 9 a game. And if you look at that from the outsider's perspective, you want Cholak to be in there because he takes the 1 or 2 chances that he actually gets. So continue to ride the hot hand and feed the finisher that's in this football club. So where one battle has been won, in my opinion, from Cholak over Alfredo Morelos, I would love to see more battles around this Rangers team. I just want to see the rest of the Rangers team fight and win their battle in the starting 11. I didn't want it just to be handed to them and go through the motions and everything like that. No, I want to see players that want to be in their starting 11 and want to impress and prove and win their role. And again, that starts tomorrow. Now with the inclusion of VAR, which is of course going to be a major talk point coming in, the likes of Ryan Kent, who again, I know not a lot of people are very high on right now, but he's shown when that's in place, and defenders can't be as rash because they think, alright, the referee's there, I can maybe give him a wee bit. When you know as a defender you cannot touch a Ryan Kent inside the box or it will be a penalty kick, that's a split second of hesitation. It wasn't there the previous week, and I just hope that Ryan Kent can bring what he showed us last season in European football, when defenders can't be as handsy, when they can't be as clumsy, when they need to think just a little bit longer. Kent's sharpness and quickness around the box can really cause problems. So I didn't want to see the slow, ponderous Ryan Kent, because I can imagine he'll be starting tomorrow. I want to see Ryan Kent every single time he gets that ball ignoring the horseshoe. I want to see him running into the box, and I want to see him asking questions, because now we have the technology. Let's put it into the task and not only use it for potential penalties or anything like that, but just use it to mess with defenders, because they know they can't get handsy or clumsy or that anymore. That's a split second that wasn't there the week before, and our attacking, creative, driving players like a Rabbi Matondo, like a Fashion Sakala, like even a Scott Wright, for instance, that's now their time to shine, because there's absolutely no excuses now. If you get fouled in the box and you're screaming and putting your hand up and that, if you are really fouled, you'll get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so it's on these attacking, creative, wide players to go and ask the questions and make things happen, instead of feeling sorry for themselves because they didn't get calls. Now they actually will. So I think it's a big day for the wingers, and I want to see them driving into the box every single time. If I'm seeing slow pondering stuff, I will be absolutely fuming the more night. I just want to see attacking, free-flowing and Rangers football. That's all I really want to see. And the rest of the team sort of picks itself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but instead I will talk about very briefly the Rangers team now. Whilst we go ahead and do that, by the way, I do find it very ironic that Čolak was selected for the presser and everything like that, and our first game is actually going to be against Livingston under VAR, because if VAR was in place in the first game of the season, Big Čolak would have scored in his first SPFL match and broke all the records for consecutive goals and everything like that. So it is a wee bit of irony, and hopefully the big man is able to put some of those demons to the sword and hopefully get us on the score sheet again for another cheeky dirty double. But some Rangers team news then, shall we? We know Hadji, Helander, Suter and everything like that, and all those players that we've talked about in detail every 3 days for the last 2 weeks. We know those are long terms. However, we got a very promising update regarding Connor Golton, as it's not as serious as first feared, and he's progressing already, because again, the guy's an absolute alien, ladies and gentlemen. But he should be back hopefully in January, which is absolutely massive for this football club, and fingers crossed the recovery continues, people. And honestly, see if he's back before Suter and Helander, I don't know what I'm going to do, ladies. I just don't know what I'll do if he comes back before them too. But here's hoping all three make a swift recovery and are playing for Rangers, because they all have important things to play. Speaking of recovery, Hadji is on his final stage of recovery now, which is obviously massive. And also Glenn Kamara edges closer to match fitness as well, as he is aiming back for the game versus Napoli, which would surprise me to be flinging him straight into the starting 11 over there, considering he's not played in a while. But again, he's edging closer. Everyone else remains the same, like the likes Lawrence and Kamal Roof, again, is no longer a part of the injury team news. So I am absolutely buzzing with that fact, and I'd love to see Kamal Roof get played wide. Remember when we played him wide, right? Under Gerrard, and he was scoring about 25 goals a year. That'd be great. Imagine him. Imagine Roof on the right wing, cutting inside and creating things, and then you've got Čolak there as well. Oh my God, that just screams goals to me. But that's ludicrous that would play such attacking football. But ladies and gentlemen, it's a big game tomorrow night. Big 3 points available. Hopefully we take it. Hopefully we see a bit more of a better performance, and we get to see the players fighting for the manager, and the manager fighting for the players by giving them the tools to actually be successful. And with that being said, that's me all done and dusted with tomorrow's preview. I want to know your thoughts and opinions on the game. How you feeling now? Wednesday was obviously a bit of a low point despite us reaching the semi-final. Where's your heads at? I'd love to know what you're feeling 24 hours before kick-off. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've been CJ over into. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.